When the energy comes out, it becomes a very repressing force. It is almost violent. It is as if somebody has jumped upon you with a sword in his hand and forces you to submit. These words are good when you come in contact with a Buddha whose energy is not oozing out, who has no leakage left. Surrender happens, but there is no submission in surrender. When you come in close contact with a person who is not yet really integrated and he is creating great energy through his sadhana and the energy is leaking out, submission happens, but there is no surrender. You become a slave, you become an imitator, your individuality is crushed and destroyed. You become a carbon copy. Remember, this will help you always. Only keep company with a master with whom you don't become a carbon copy, with whom your freedom is possible, with whom even surrender gives you individuality, following whom you don't become a follower, with whom you earn more and more freedom. He makes you so free. He gives you tremendous freedom, more than you can give to yourself. He does not give you a discipline, he gives you awareness, and through awareness, you flower. You are not repressed, you are not forced. Great things happen, but they happen naturally, spontaneously. You must have seen auras around the pictures of Buddha and Jesus and Krishna. They're not the aura Lesu is talking about. If you want to see this type of aura, then you have to come in contact with a man like Rasputin. Then you will find an aura, a great aura. Whoever came in contact with Rasputin immediately submitted to him and become a slave. Even the Tsar and the Tsarina. In fact, for a few years, Rasputin had become the real ruler of Russia. Whoever came in contact with him would simply lose his individuality, lose his freedom, and would come just as an eye seer, become more unconscious than he was ever before, and would start doing things which he could never do in his right senses. Around Rasputin, such things were an everyday affair. He could tell people to do foolish things, but his order was an order which they would do, and not even for a single moment feel that they were being stupid. When they would go back home, then they would suddenly recognize the fact of what they had done. It was ridiculous. Rasputin was killed by people who became more and more aware of this phenomenon. He was murdered, and he was really a man of great energy. The people who murdered him were his victims by and by. Many people became aware that whenever they were around him, something simply went off within their being and they became just puppets. And whenever they were far away from him, they would again and again regain themselves. They started feeling this phenomenon so deeply that they conspire against him, his own disciples, and they killed him. And it was very difficult to kill him. He was a man of energy, of great energy, disintegrated, but still of great energy, and the energy was oozing so much. First, they persuaded him to drink, and he drank too much, but nothing affected him. He was perfectly alert. Then they poisoned him. They gave him poison in food, but nothing affected him. Then they became afraid. They shot him 18 bullets, but he was still alive. And then they were very afraid. If he survived, what would happen to them? So they tied him in a bag with rocks and threw him into the river. After 48 hours, his body was found, and the post mortem report says that he was not dead when he was thrown in the water. that even in underwater he remained alive for at least 4 hours. A man of tremendous energy, but the impact was evil. The impact was not good.